So, this week is all about accountability. Let's talk about a couple of the phrases that helps keep me accountable. One of the phrases that I use on my accountability, when I sit down in my weekly planning meeting and I say, how am I doing? I start thinking about how my discipline is. What am I doing correctly? What do I need to change? Or what have I dropped off? Now, a lot of us, we drop stuff off all the time, right? We're focusing so much on generating listings that we forget about our buyers. We focus so much on taking care of our family, maybe we forget about our personal health. And that's why the weekly planning meeting is so important, because it lets you take a look at your whole world and say, oh, I'm a little soft here. Let's build that back up. So what are the things that you were doing? Just got the text message from Victoria. She's right on target to getting it done. She says, my check is safe. So congratulations, Victoria. You are awesome. Well, we knew that already, but you are awesome for keeping your commitments. So when I sit in my weekly planning meeting, I start looking at things, and I say, what do I need to pay the price for? Okay? Now, here are some things that have dropped off. We've been so busy building up this company that my physical has dropped off. I haven't been keeping myself in shape. Gained a little bit of weight, gotten a little lazy, but I was motivated by a group of people who are doing this contest, this 30-day squat contest. So congratulations to all of you who are doing that. And so this morning, knowing that I was going to talk about accountability, I put back on my shoes. I haven't ran for over a month, and I went and did 3 miles this morning. Why? Because they were motivating me to get up and to do something. So what do you need to be doing? Where do you need to be in your life? A lot of you are making some choices that are really, really tough. And some of you are avoiding those choices. I had this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday at lunch about decisions. And there are two different kinds of decisions. One that we make and one that we don't. And a lot of us, what we do is we just don't make that decision. And we end up what? We call it default. See, if we don't get up and go for a run, if we don't get up and do our squats, if we don't do our sit-ups, if we don't do whatever it is, go to yoga class, go to a spin class, whatever it is, then by default, we get further and further down that slope of being out of shape. Same thing with our production, isn't it? I mean, that one day we're like, you know what? I just don't want to generate a lead today. It's uncomfortable to make those phone calls. It's uncomfortable to do those pop buys. It's uncomfortable to do follow-up calls. There's a great agent that we have over there in Indianapolis. Fantastic agent, and he's like, why is everyone so scared of the phone? Why is everybody so scared of the phone? Just pick it up and make the calls, because every time he does, he finds success. Every time. He doesn't worry about emails and blogging and systems and all this. All he does is he is organized. He has a list of who he needs to call every day, and he calls it, and he produces every day. We got to have that kind of discipline. There's a phrase that I have on my phone during my weekly planning meeting I look at, and it's called the $1 million discipline. You know, we look at great athletes out there, and there are some amazing ones that make over $1 million a year. They make more than $10 million a year. 20, 30, 40. They're crazy stuff. Let me ask you this. What does their discipline look like versus yours? And why have they got that kind of discipline? It's because over year and year and year, they've been held accountable by their coaches. You know, Tiger Woods has multiple coaches. Why do you need more than one coach? Well, if you make as much money as he does, you can afford them, but you can't afford to be without them. So make sure that you're with your broker. Make sure that you're getting mentored and you're getting coached by your brokers. Make sure that you're holding yourself accountable. Yes, you can do it yourself with the discipline, but most of us aren't that strong yet. And so we need to grab that accountability partner. 2 different accountability partners that you guys can sit there and go, okay, this is what I want to do and this is what I want to do. And that way you build accountability into your business. You know, one of our brokers yesterday, Teresa, she said something pretty interesting. She says that the second you start relaxing is the second your production starts to go down. Think about that. We are in this gig. We think that we have flexibility of hours, which we do. We absolutely have flexibility of hours. However, do we have flexibility with our actions? We don't. We know how many calls we need to make, how many posts we need to do to Craigslist. We know how many people we need to go see. We know what we need to be doing. We know it. When we do it, that's our choice. But then we cannot choose when we get paid. That is a consequence of those actions. So when people say, well, Dean, I need to close 2 deals this month. Okay? What did you do in April, May, and June? Well, you know, school was ending and we did some family vacations and all this kind of stuff. Well, guess what? Closing deals in August is the fruit of the labor of April, May, and June. Isn't it? But the challenge is, as real estate professionals, we have the attention span of 30 days. We're going to do something fast enough and long enough just to get that one next transaction, that one next step. And then we slack off. And that's not what we need to do. That's not what we need to do. See, as we, and yep, I got room. I'm going to grab my marker. One of the things about production that I have seen is that the people who go in the onesie-twosie stuff look something like this. Don't they? They hurry up and they get a deal, maybe even 2 deals, and they're so happy, and then they babysit those deals all the way until they close, they get paid, and then they have to start up the hill one more time. But yet they don't learn their lesson, and they do this cycle over and over and over again. I find that very interesting that we continue to do that. But if we had the discipline, that $1 million discipline, and we paid that price, those are your 2 phrases today, $1 million discipline and pay that price. We get the accountability put in place, we insert it into our timeline here, and we say, okay, here's the thing. I'm not going to stop until I have 5 escrows. Because I then know that every month I'm going to have a closing. Maybe even 2. Hey, these days it's probably 2 closings, isn't it? So I can have my 2 closings every month. 2, 2, 2 for the remainder of the year. And how much money would that be for you? Because after you get to 5, all you have to do is just reload. As they close, you reload them. Does that make sense? So you always maintain this 5, and your business becomes stable. A lot more stable. Do you see that? This is what we're striving everybody to do. We want the stability. But to have this stability, you can't have it without being organized, being held accountable, and doing the stuff that produces. You can't. Yeah, sure, we get our onesie-twosies that fall in our lap, but come on, guys. We both know better. We know better. Now, here in the Phoenix marketplace, I know that I've brought this concept over to other markets, and you guys can adapt it to however you do. I know Nashville and Indy and Cincinnati and Denver. Wow, Kansas City. I don't know if they're on. If they are, hey, KC. Nice job on the barbecue. But I was sitting with a broker in Cincinnati, and he says, well, what do you want your agents to do? I said, well, that's pretty easy. First, I want them to generate a lead a day. That's the first thing I need them to do. I need them to do the production of generating a lead a day. Because if they do a lead a day, guess what? Then they'll get transactions. And then we get them to 5 escrows. Now, if we had any California people on, they'd freak out because that's more work than they do in a whole year. Price points. I'm teasing the Californians. And then the ultimate goal is to have 10 escrows. I know that when an agent maintains 10 escrows, that they are able to go on the vacations they want to go on, they're able to spend the time that they want with their family, they're able to build systems around that and be able to maintain that. Isn't it awesome? That agent that I've been coaching, he dropped down underneath that 10, which is why he called me. He still closed $4 million worth of transactions, so it's not been a bad year, but he dropped below the 10, and now he's uncomfortable because the new agent he's become thinks that that is slacking when he's down to 7, 6, 5. He got used to this lifestyle. He got used to the time that it took for him to maintain the 10. And guess what? At 10, he only works 30 hours a week. So if your mind, you're like, oh no, Dean, I don't want to work that hard. No, 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 you don't understand. There is something magical that happens, I can't explain it, that says when I hit that 10 and can maintain that 10, my stress decreases, my time committed decreases, my quality of life increases. Now some of you are like, well, Dean, I don't want to work that hard. I didn't say work that hard. I said, get here. Because here is not hard after you're there. After you're here, you have transaction coordinators and probably an assistant who helps you maintain this business. When you get here, things calm down. Trust me. I've done it over and over again with agents. Trust me on this one. It happens. But to get there, you have to have the basics put in place. You have to be doing your weekly planning meetings. You have to be maintaining and working your database. You've got to do the daily disciplines from your dashboard every day. Don't miss. Don't miss. As old Jim Rohn says, miss a meal. We could all miss a few meals, but don't miss your daily dashboard. And then the last one is be accountable. Find an accountability partner, whether you hire a coach and write the check, or you find two people that want to grow their business like you do. Don't get somebody that you want to say, oh, well, we're going to help pull them up. No, 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 that's not an accountability partner, okay? That's someone you're helping. An accountability partner is one who will call you on your stuff, who will say, you know what, you're slacking. What can I do to help? Go find your accountability partner. Take the $250 challenge this week. Write up something that you need to do that has been weighing on you that you have not pulled the trigger on. Figure that out, find an accountability partner, and exchange pieces of paper committing to this is what I'm going to do, or I'm going to pay you $250. I double dog dare you to do it. Triple dog dare you to do it. All right? All right, well, how was the video thing? Adam, did we do okay? We did good? He's happy. He's smiling. That's a good sign. Let's see. Any text messages coming in? All right. Everything's good. Well, guys, this has been The Rock Show. This is the new format. Whiteboard. Standing Dean. Yes, I'm standing. I know what you were thinking. I hope you guys walked away with something big out of this, because I really want to affect the way that your business goes. I'm so excited for what we're going to do the second half of this year. We have amazing stuff lined up. We have great classes to train. We have great tools, but we have great production to obtain. Stay focused on that. All right? You guys have a great week. You know I love you. Call me, text me, smoke signals, whatever it takes to get a hold of me. I'll help you however I can. Have a great week, everybody.